everybody, welcome to Discovery Reading. We're kind of in a room that most of you probably never seen before. This is our education collection room, and the reason we're in here today is because I have some specimens that I want to show you, but they're kind of big, so it's just a little easier to be in here today. So this is where we are. We're going to be talking about animals' homes and habitats today a little bit. So one of the homes is in here, and it's a little heavy. So that's it. Let me read you the titles of our books really fast while people are logging on. We're going to be reading, no pun intended, A Log's Life by Wendy Pfeiffer and Robin Brickman. And we're reading this today with permission from Aladdin Paperbacks. And then we're also going to be reading a favorite, An Egg is Quiet by Diana Aston and Sylvia Long, which we're reading with permission from Chronicle Books. So we'll give everybody just a second to log on. But again, for those who are just tuning in, we're in the education collection room today. This is where we store all of our education specimens. Teachers rent these out. We also bring them out and show them to kids. So that's where we are right now. So let's get started. This one is A Log's Life by Wendy Pfeiffer and Robin Brickman from Aladdin Books. Deep in a forest, a great oak tree stands. A family of squirrels lives in a hole in its trunk. A porcupine chews on its branches. A colony of carpenter ants nest under the outer bark. A woodpecker pecks at the rough bark, searching for insects. He spears one, devours it, and hunts for more. Wood-boring beetles burrow under the bark, chewing wood and leaving tunnels. Water and air seep into the tunnels. Toadstools and other fungi such as mildew, molds, and mushrooms sprout in these places. Slugs and snails crawl up the tree trunk into tunnels and eat the fungi. One stormy day, a strong wind whips through the forest. The old oak bends with every gust. Rain pelts its branches. Wind tosses its leaves through the air. Lightning flashes and sizzles down the trunk. A thunderous crack startles the porcupine sleeping nearby. The tall oak begins to topple. Squirrels feel the trembling and scramble out of their hole. One strong gust of the blustery wind tears the great oak's roots from the ground. The tree crashes down, shaking the forest floor. Branches break, limbs splinter, and leaves scatter. Now it's a giant log. Soon the storm stops and the sun comes out. An umbrella of leaves and tangled block the sunshine from the forest floor. The porcupine comes out of its den. Squirrels scampered to see the old hole that was once their home. Under the log, ants rush about carrying white bundles of babies. A spider crawls through the cracks and crevices, searching for a dry spot to lay her egg sac. Millipedes settle between the log and the wet ground. For now, they are safe from the spider. Termites soon discover the fallen log and move in. They not only eat rotting wood, they lay their eggs there too. For 3 or 4 years, through hot, cold, wet, and dry seasons, ants, beetles, fungi, slugs, snails, spiders, millipedes, and termites live in the log. One winter, the porcupine's hollow log collapses. He moves into the oak log too. In the spring, click beetles snap and click their bodies and flip high in the air before settling in the log. Salamanders, frightened by the noise and sudden movements, dart under the log for safety and stay. In the summer, pillbugs and slugs crawl inside the cool, moist log to keep from drying out. Pillbugs eat dead leaves. Salamanders eat pillbugs. Slugs slip out at night and eat almost anything. The old log provides both food and shelter for the millipedes. They eat decaying plants and trees, but spiders eat the millipedes. Several more years of hot, cold, wet, and dry seasons pass. Time, weather, and the chewing, pecking, boring, and tunneling of many animals and insects make the inside of the log spongy. The outer bark becomes soft and damp, and gradually it falls to the ground. Wood-boring insects have no wood to bore. They find another log. The woodpecker hunts for other trees to peck, spiders spin their webs in drier spots, and the porcupine moves to a more solid log. Slowly, a lush green blanket of moss carpets the rotting log. Its thick roots break down the wood. Over the next few years, the log crumbles. What is left looks like dirt. It feels like dirt. It smells like dirt. It is dirt. Earthworms move in. They turn the soil over just as a shovel does. They burrow down and break up the soil just as a rake does. It takes about 10 years for rotting logs to become a mound of rich black earth. One autumn day, an acorn falls from a nearby oak tree. A squirrel buries it in the rich soil. A seedling oak sprouts and grows until one day, deep in the forest, another great oak tree stands. Squirrels move in, so do carpenter ants, beetles, and woodpeckers. The ants build nests, the beetles burrow, the woodpeckers peck. For years, life goes on in the oak tree. Then one night, the wind whistles through the trees. The old oak bends and shakes. It crashes to the forest floor and becomes another giant log. Okay, so this was A Log's Life. So this book is great. It talks all about the life cycle of a log and kind of gives a little bit of perspective about how many things are really living on the log. So I have a big log that I want to show you with some marks on it so we can talk about them. That's in this room. So, okay, so this is our log. What I want to show you is kind of these lines on our log. Let's see. They kind of look like little squiggles. These are lines from bark beetles, which chew through these logs. They've devastated a lot of our forests here in Utah because what they do is they can burrow and bore through these logs, just like the book was saying, and they can cause them to fall down kind of prematurely. But that is one animal that we're not really usually thinking about that is living on these logs. We also saw in the book, talked about how insects can get under bark as bark peels up and logs dry. This creates a new home for special insects and termites, and they will eat the logs from the inside and split them through. Obviously when these are trees and they're at their full thickness, you can see kind of those tree rings there. These are home to so many birds like the woodpecker or squirrels, mammals, but at every stage of its life cycle, it is a home to somebody. So that's really cool. So you can think about larger animals, but even tiny insects or fungi or bacteria growing from the log or from the tree at a certain stage of its life. So this is our log for that visual. Okay, our next book is An Egg is Quiet by Diana Aston and Sylvia Long. An egg is quiet. It sits there under its mother's feathers, on top of its father's feet. buried beneath the sand, warm and cozy. An egg is colorful. See if you can recognize some of these eggs. You can see this one here, it's hard for you guys to read, is a turkey. And let's see if there's any others that we might recognize. This is our great blue heron. We have these in Utah as well. An egg is shapely. Sea turtles dig a hole in the sand with their flippers and lay up to 200 soft round eggs. Round eggs fit together nicely in tight spaces. This is our Kemp sea turtle egg. When ladybugs hatch as larvae, their first meal is often an egg case that they crawled out of. So this is our ladybird beetle egg. These are oval eggs. These are pointy eggs. Seabird eggs are pointy at one end, so if they're laid on a rock ledge, they will not roll off, but roll in safe, round little circles, not off the cliff. This is our pointy egg. And there are tubular eggs. While most sharks give birth to live young, some sharks, like the lesser spotted dogfish, begin life in a leathery egg case with tendrils. The tendrils anchor the eggs to seaweed so they cannot be swept away in the ocean current. So these on the end are the tendrils. An egg is clever. The markings on some eggs help them blend in with their surroundings. This is called camouflage. Camouflage is an egg's way of hiding. An egg might be speckled to resemble the rocks around it, or it might be gray, the color of mud by a lake. An egg does not want to be eaten by a raccoon, or a snake, or a fox, or an insect. An egg can come in different sizes. Eggs come in all different sizes. An ostrich egg can weigh as much as 8 pounds. It is so big and so round it takes 2 hands to hold one egg. And if you come to the museum, we've showed it to you before. I can't find it today, but you'll have to come in and ask to see it. Hummingbird eggs are the size of a jelly bean. It would take about 2,000 hummingbird eggs to equal the size of one ostrich egg. An egg is artistic. See if I can read you some of these eggs. This is an Arctic tern right here. This one is a paradise crow, yellow hammer, red-winged blackbird, a scarlet tanager. We have tanagers here in Utah. This is a sooty tern. Some of these we don't know what they look like, or an Arctic tern. An egg is textured. There are hard eggs and soft eggs and gooey eggs. There are smooth eggs and rough eggs. Bird eggs are hard. Reptile eggs are often soft and rubbery. Amphibian eggs are gooey. The goo keeps them from drying out. Most bird eggs are smooth. The eggs of cassowaries, emus, and cormorants are rough. An egg might even be fossilized. The remains of creatures that died millions of years ago may become rock hard or fossilized. Scientists have unearthed fossilized dinosaur eggs all around the world. Some are round and some are oblong, and some are as small as 1 inch across, and some are as large as 20 inches. Scientists believe all dinosaurs hatched from eggs. An egg is giving. An egg gives the little creature growing inside everything it needs. The shell is its home, the yolk is its food, the egg white or albumin is its pillow, The shell is covered with teeny tiny holes which allow air to enter. An egg is quiet, then suddenly an egg is noisy. Crunch, cheep, 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 peep, peep, peep. These are black-necked nestlings, stilt nestlings. An egg is noisy. Awesome. And these are some of the animals that were shown in this book. Okay, so this is a home that we definitely think about. We also have to think about birds in their nests, but also in their egg. So we're going to look at some of these eggs that were mentioned in this book really quick. The one that in particular that I want to talk about is our reptile eggs that they described as smooth and rubbery. These are iguana eggs, and they're kind of in a herpetology jar, so they're surrounded by fluid, so they can kind of remain moist and also kind of remain in their shape. That being said, they've been in here for a while, so their shape looks a little bit wonky. They'd be a little bit more round and have a little bit more bounce back than this. But an egg is also a home, right? Just like it said in the book, they're provided with nutrients, they're part of temperature control for a baby, they're protecting them from their surroundings, which is why they're so well protected. So these are our reptile eggs. And our ostrich egg, for those who've seen it already, it is 2 hands big. And the one that we have is hollowed out, so you can't really feel the weight of it anymore. It's been cleaned out with air. But that is also the home to animals. I want to show you guys one more home really quickly that maybe you haven't seen because it's from the ocean. My readers know that I'm from California, so I always have to tell you something about the ocean that maybe you haven't seen before. So these right here are abalone shells, okay? They're really famous because they kind of look like a rainbow on the inside. You can kind of see them a little bit, but we're just going to use them as an example for what clams do. And they're clams, not mollusks, because mollusks include like snails. But clams are bivalve shells. So what they do to protect their home, because they live inside of their home, inside of those shells in the ocean that look like this, there's tiny animals inside in the middle. And what they do is they use their 2 shells just like this as valves to filter their food, to decide what they want to eat and what they don't want to eat. And there's muscles in the back that stimulate them to open or shut if they're scared that a predator's coming, or shut if there's something that they don't want to enter into their system, or open and take in nutrients. So sometimes if an animal is in charge of its home, it'll even regulate itself, which is really, really cool. But these are really, really big abalone shells. You can imagine a clam opening, protecting its home, creating its home, closing. Good. We can also think about so many different types of homes for animals. Sometimes in this case, this home is regulated by the animal inside, or we even have animals that build their own homes, like the beaver. So it's really cool. We'll probably have to do a part 2 to this video to talk about more about some of the homes that specific animals here in Utah make. But again, thanks for watching. For anybody who has questions or comments, feel free to put them down below. I appreciate people commenting, telling me to talk louder. I love that. And we will do that. So if you're watching this not live, feel free to ask questions, come down below, and we will comment back to you guys. It's good to see you, or virtually. Excited to see you guys when the museum opens in a bit. Bye!